Me, Matt here.
Killer Kyle.
You know what time it is.
Me, Matt's right through the night. Killer Kyle's got the size. Wheels of fury on the ground. Engine roaring in the sound. Feel the power, let it rise. With the metal in our eyes. Wheels of fury rolling strong. Together we will carry on.
Me and Matt here. This is Killer Kyle. I'm doing another episode of Wheels of Fury. And the last installment of Look Back at 1989
Yes,
year series.
indeed.
And we did this a little over 2 hours ago. And
Right into Bonita versus
you know what? Fuck this. It's alright. I can't do this no more. I'll have to do another shot, but I can't. So, we are actually still following up with FMW,
right.
except we're going to be doing FMW Battle Creation, and there's actually 2 videos on YouTube, and we watched the one that, I don't know how, but somebody stuck in with a camcorder.
Yeah, like on YouTube there's a video of highlights of the show basically, and then there's
Yeah.
somebody had recorded the whole show with, I would imagine, a camcorder, well, handheld, and it's like, I wonder how they got away with that. You know, being Japan, and, you know, I know Japan has fairly strict rules,
Yeah.
so how would you be able to just walk into wherever this was with a camcorder, with a handheld, and record literally the whole show and not get caught?
No, if they did, they stapled his nuts to a cable jumper.
That's Caleb. Booster cables to his nutsack.
ETV son. Anyway. Okay, letters. And this was a good show.
Indeed.
And see, this is why we don't do Look Back at Year series too often. It's because we try to find videos, and for some reason, can't find the proper video sometimes.
Yeah.
The last one was highlights, so it wasn't a proper video,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyways.
Before we get started, we got some whiskey, some Canadian Club 12 year,
Yes, sir.
and before we started watching the video for this particular installment of Look Back at Year series, Matt went on Facebook
Yep.
and come to find out of the passing of legendary movie critic Gene Shalit at the age of 100.
Well, yeah. Like Kyle said, he was a legendary movie critic,
Indeed.
famous for his, I guess, flamboyant voice and mustache and bald afro or whatever, but 100 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
Not very often do you ever hear of somebody making it to 100.
I mean, Dick Van Dyke is still alive
Yes.
at 100, and yeah, it's very, very rare, but it can happen.
I mean, Charlotte passed away at 100. Brings me back to Betty White. She passed away just before she turned 100.
Yeah,
A few days before her 100th birthday, she passed.
yeah, she must have had a stroke or something. Just because her last video, her voice was shaky. But things are possible nowadays, and
Why
that's
not?
kind of. I mean, back in those days, people still live to be 100, but it was very rare.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean,
Yeah, in today's day and age, for somebody to live to 100, or even past 100, is pretty amazing.
I mean, see, my grandparents were in their 90s when they passed,
Right.
and that's rare.
Yeah.
But, anyways, Gene Michelle,
Right.
I didn't watch a lot of his videos, but I definitely knew of him.
Yes. Ian Shallow is most known for, you know, a morning show, I guess, if
Yes,
you will.
that's
the
right.
Today Show.
That's right, yes.
So,
And so, here's to that.
yeah.
Subscribe, Killer Kyle 36, me and Matt's World. With that, here's to almost 42.
Right.
In another month, 37.
Indeed.
Jesus Christ. Sucky.
Yeah. Do the damn thing.
Fuck yeah. We watched this show. We started off with a mini person match, which was actually at the end of the show in the other video, I guess.
Yeah, it was at the end of the highlight video, even though it was at the beginning of the show here.
Yeah, got Tiger Jackson versus Little Devil.
Indeed.
That one with a mask and the other bald. This was
I believe the guy with the mask and the overalls was Tiger Jackson, and Little
yes.
Devil was the bald guy, I believe.
And today, you look at minis and you go, they can really work.
Yes.
I mean, back in those days, and it's unfortunate too, and I'm gonna say it, midget wrestling was more or less a funny match,
Yeah.
and this was no exception. But, well, there was one point where they went back and forth to the ropes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do the old crisscross, and then
yeah.
I remember Little Devil was like on the sand next to Tiger Jackson, and then they just ended up and they're collapsing on the canvas.
Yes. And Tiger ended up getting the win.
Yes. With a backslide of sorts.
Yes.
Well, or roll up. Anyways.
Yeah.
And they go on to Crusher Dennis versus Mitsutaru Tokuda.
Apartment to Tower.
Takada, yeah.
Wow. Crusher basically whipped the piss right out of him like he owed him some yen. When, I mean, Mitsuyashi got offense, but
Yeah.
in any case, yeah. Well, he even did a Boston Crab.
Yeah. I think that was actually the next match, but yeah.
Oh,
I believe Crusher Dennis ended up winning this one.
he did, yeah. And I mean, there was no surprise there.
No. What do we got? Shoji Akiyoshi versus Masanobu Kuroshu? Yeah, I believe this is the match, yeah. Where was it? I believe Shoji that beat the fuck out of Masanobu. Just beat the piss right out of him.
Yes.
Like he fucking owed him 1,000 yen. And, you know, Machinobu was able to give him some offense. Not very much, but he did. I said to Matt, wouldn't that be something if he got his fucking ass whooped most of the match and then ended up winning with the Boston Crab? He didn't.
No, but that would be the biggest upset of the night.
Yeah, well,
And I mean, as big as Soji was, I mean, you knew that he was gonna win the match, nonetheless, you know.
Right, yeah. Monkey Magic Wakita versus Haru Asako.
Yeah. And this wasn't too bad, I guess.
What a name though, Monkey Magic Wakita.
This was a good match too. Monkey Magic ended up winning. I'm trying to find. I don't remember this match too much.
Yeah, not really.
But then it gets interesting for the rest of the night.
Yeah, the rest of the show.
We have an Indian strap match. There's a Joshi match I was talking about.
Yeah.
You have Delta Dawn
Yes.
versus Despite
Despina Montagas?
Yeah.
Tagus, something like that.
And this was cool. I mean, we recently saw a strap match in SmackDown.
Yes.
They brought it back. I think it was SmackDown. Well, nonetheless, it was WWE, but still. This was an awesome match, too. I mean, they obviously whipped the piss out of each other.
Yeah.
And as far as, you know, strap matches go, this was alright.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of use the strap as a weapon, not really. Like, the extent of the strap being used as a weapon was, I think, Delta Dawn was choking Despina with it.
But, yeah.
Delta Dawn ended up getting a win.
Yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't for
Outside interference.
yeah, which I mean, it was Jola Duke interfered punching the
Spina, whatever the fuck, with the just punching her, essentially knocking her out.
yeah, which back then obviously you could get away with,
Yeah.
but then of course I don't think it was Nick Murdoch that got involved,
No.
but
Somebody else.
yeah. And speaking of which,
Speaking of Dick Murdoch and Julie Duke, they had an American Street Fight Chain Death Match.
now the second video that we saw,
Yes.
you could definitely see it up close. I mean, Joe definitely had the chain wrapped around Dick's eyes.
Yeah.
Never thought I would say that sentence. But, yeah. I mean, Joe just beat the fuck right out of Dick Murdoch.
Well, Joe dominated most of the match. Dick was able to get the upper hand a few times, but it was mostly Joe that dominated the match. Dick was able to get the count back and drop a Neville for the win.
Yeah. And it was definitely a bloody match, too.
Yeah.
That was cool. And, I mean, that was one of the few bloody matches of the night. Like, no pun intended, I guess. I don't know. But that was cool about FMW as well. Like,
Yeah.
they were, not only were they known as the mixed martial arts faction or company, but it was like death matches and hardcore matches and strap matches and fuck.
It would evolve into more of like a hardcore promotion as the years went on.
Yep.
And to finish off the evening, we had a different style barbed wire death match between FMW's promoter, owner, head guy in charge, if you will, Atsushi Onita, teaming with Tarzan Goto, taking on Shuri Blaman and Matsuhiro Matsunaga.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Those two whipped the piss out of Nico.
Like, there were tags involved, but it was almost like a Texas Tornado,
Yeah.
barbed wire death match of sorts.
Well, you had the barbed wire around the ring.
Yeah.
And it was at one point where Anito, it looked like they were dragging his face along the barbed wire.
Well, I did notice it was, I believe his right arm got pretty cut up.
Yeah.
I don't think it was his face, mostly his arm. They got cut up by the barbed wire. And yeah, these four beat the dog piss out of each other.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Onita and Kono got the win.
I mean, Onita definitely was the inspiration for John Moxley.
Yes.
And his style of wrestling.
Right.
And it was basically, yeah, and he didn't come out with his traditional leather jacket, but he was somebody who was down and dirty and had a lot of cool matches in FMW,
Yes.
smoking and all that stuff. And it was like, Japanese wrestling is one of the most entertaining forms of professional wrestling.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you look at Lucha Libre, and then you look at Japanese style, strong style, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, two different styles, but man, when you look at strong style, like, there were stiff kicks at one match.
Oh yeah, stiff kicks, and headbutts, and punches, and forearms, and whole gambit, whole 9 yards.
Yeah. But yeah, this show took place on the 12th of December. Wait.
The 10th of December in 80.
Yeah.
I would have been only just a few months old at this point.
Yeah, I was 5.
Because I was born in July.
Yeah.
This was in December, so I was very, very young.
But
I was 5, of course, like you said.
this was a really, really good show. And next time, we'll have to figure out. We won't do a video unless we know exactly the matches are going to be matches, not highlights. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Right.
But in any case, I'm glad we did this
Yes.
because I don't believe we've done an FMW pay-per-view.
I don't believe so.
We'll do more if we find more.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been another installment of a Back at You series. Obviously, next is 1984, which is the year I was born.
Indeed.
And then we'll go from there.
I want to throw something out here.
Yeah.
So, like we talked about in our Facebook Live, in 2 weeks, the 27th and the 28th. Okay, the 28th, as we talked about, we've got Slammiversary, NXT Great American Bash, and Forbidden Door. Well, on the 27th, we have Night of Champions. Now, depending on what the cards are going to look like, we could I feel like maybe get ahead of the curve. We're not really doing anything next week.
That's a good idea.
Get ahead of the curve and we'll start on the predictions next week.
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, you know, you said you saw the whole card for Slammiversary, so I mean, if nothing else is the other 3, there's no full cards for that yet. At least get Slammiversary done and out of the way.
Now, hopefully, like it always says, subject to change.
Oh yeah, cards subject to change, of course.
But
as always,
bing! It's been another episode of Wheels of Fury, and we're gonna be stacked.
Indeed.
And like we don't stop.
Nope.
We can't stop. And until then, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Later.
Racing hard, it's a bright spree.